Hello students, Miss Kearns here, and I want to do a lesson this week that's a little more hands-on. First, I just want to start off by saying that I know for sure that you guys all don't have all the materials that I have here today, which is completely and 100% fine. But I just wanted to do a demonstration to show you guys what I'm talking about. And then I'm also going to post some links for different ways that you can do it. And then we'll kind of go from there. So if you don't have these materials or you don't think you'll be able to get anything like this, that's completely okay. I totally understand. But I just wanted to go over what I'm going to talk about this week and just do something that's a little more hands-on and something that you can see me and watch a video rather than read an article or something. So we are talking about composting. So composting is basically just taking materials like we have here and turning it back into the soil that we can bring those nutrients back into our gardens, and we can also put them into our potting soils that we use, and just to really bring those nutrients back in. So I'm just going to go over the steps of composting. Really, composting creates what's called humus, and humus is that dark organic layer that we have in our soil. So in order to do that, we need to first start off with about 3 to 4 inches of chopped up twigs and leaves and different dead debris that might be lying around your yard. But I guess first I should probably start and say that I have a 5-gallon bucket here, and what I did was I just drilled a bunch of holes around it, and then I also drilled them in the lid. And I'll put up a link and I'll put up different resources of different ways that you can do it, but you can do it in the bucket like I have here, or some people have giant areas of bins that they use, garbage cans. It's really open to a lot of different things. So I have this bucket and I have a bunch of holes in it, and that's for aeration so that the soil can be able to breathe and everything that we're putting in can breathe, and it needs oxygen in order to turn back into soil. So I'm going to put my sticks in the bottom, and I really don't have anything that's very large, nothing that's bigger than a 1/4 inch. So I'm going to put that in the bottom here. And then I have a bunch of leaves that I picked up around the house. And then that just makes up about 3 to 4 inches of my bucket, okay? So from there, I go on and I have my mixed scraps and vegetables. Typically it's fruits and vegetables. So with this I have a bunch of lettuce because I kind of forgot it was in the fridge, and it got really gross. So I'm going to put all my lettuce that I have in here, and I probably should be adding more, but I didn't have a bunch of stuff around the house that I really wanted to throw away yet that was bad. So in order to collect materials like that, I have a little bucket inside of my refrigerator, and when I'm chopping a potato up or something and I get some scraps, I scoop them up and I put them into the bucket so that they don't get really smelly and gross, and then they can keep for a week or 2 weeks, because that's how often you should try to open up your bucket. We want to keep the heat into the bucket, so we try not to take the lid off very much, okay? So from there, I put in all my mixed scraps. I made a diagram to put on my refrigerator for my roommates to be able to see what we can compost and what we can't compost. So basically on the do compost, we have grass clippings, we can put eggshells, coffee grounds, fruit and vegetable scraps, among some other things. And then the things that we don't compost would be meats and bones from different things like fish and ribs maybe, and then dairy products, because those attract rodents and creatures that we don't really want in our compost. So that is something that you can do as well if you decide to do something like this, is put something up for your family, be able to see, I should not throw this in the bucket, or I should. So after we're done, we put 3 to 4 inches of our twigs, and then we put 6 to 8 inches of my mixed scraps, and I should dampen this, and I just putting some water in. You want it to be kind of spongy, so not super soaked, but not dry, obviously. So after I do that, you can see it's leaking down on me, which is fine. I'm going to put some soil that I just got from digging it up in the yard. I actually went to the hole where my dog dug a hole, so I just took a little bit more out. So I'm going to put about 1 inch of soil in. Spread that around a little bit. And then from there, I'm going to, when putting the soil in, I'm trying to add some microbes and some nutrients that are already there just to kind of kickstart it. From there, I'm going to put in my mulch or my manure. So I realize that not all of you have access to manure. So some suggestions are you can go to your local garden center once all this is over, and you can buy a bag of manure. And then you can also just go down the road, hop out in the country, ask one of your friends that maybe lives on a farm, and see if they can just get you a bag of manure. Because that's all I really did. Because I don't live on a farm either. Well, now, my parents do. But anyways, so I'm going to put 2 to 3 inches of manure, and you can see I've got some corn stalks mixed in there too, which is fine. And one thing that you want to make sure too is that you don't put fresh manure in, because that's really packed full of nitrogen, and it's just going to burn your plants off because it's just too much. So it's important to have some stuff that may be a little drier or older, okay? You should also make sure that you don't put your pet manure in there. If you have a dog or a cat, don't clean your litter box and put it into your compost bucket, because there's a lot of different bad stuff, I guess, or what am I trying to say? Bad microorganisms that aren't very good for your soil, and diseases, I guess. Okay, so then once we do that, then I can repeat the layers, and I can put some more leaves back in here, you know, and then I can go collect some more from out in the yard, because I've only got my bucket about half full right now, so you can kind of see there like that. So once I get everything that I want, and then like I said before, I'm going to put my lid on, but you only want to take your lid off about once a week. Probably want to shoot for more, once every 2 weeks. So I put my lid on. It's hard to get on. Okay, so I'm going to put my lid on, and this has holes in the top too, as you can see, and then I'm just going to shake it up. You're just going to roll it so everything mixes up a little bit. Okay, and there you go, you have your compost. So then now I can let this sit for 2 weeks, and then I just have my little bucket in my fridge that I collect all my scraps with. And then once the 2 weeks is up, then I'll probably mix it up again, and I'll put my scraps back in here. From the research that I did, I found that you should come out and mix up your compost every day just by turning the bucket like I did, with keeping that lid on. So that's another tip as well. This is a big learning process for me as well as teaching you guys. So I'm going to try and keep you updated on how my compost is as we keep going on, and then hopefully you'll be sharing some of your creations of different kinds of compost setups that you're able to make with me, as well as your classmates. So if you have any questions, please email me, and go from here, just go check out your Canvas assignment, and we'll go from there. So thank you guys for watching, and for doing a fun assignment this week. So thank you.